Right there.
No. Okay. Go up. He's moving, so.
What's his name? Kevin Davis.
This just doesn't look like a fault anymore. Right now, we're treating this as a crime scene due to his condition, okay? All right. So,
Kevin Ray Davis entered the world on July 1st, 1983, born to his mother, Alta Beers. As he grew up, he was the type of person who effortlessly won over everyone around him. Friends painted him as a genuinely kind soul, hard-working, always eager to lend a hand whenever needed. By age 40, Kevin had carved out a solid life for himself in New Haven, Indiana, working as a landscaper. At some point, his path crossed with Alison, and they fell deeply in love, tying the knot and making a home on Douglas Lane. Though they had no children, they doted on their pit bull mix, Willow, treating her like their cherished child. To outsiders, they appeared as a contented pair with fulfilling lives. Their friend Jason Young noted that Kevin could be loud and opinionated, but that was simply part of his vibrant personality. Alison's closest friend, Casey Clem, described them as the kind of couple who would spontaneously dance in the kitchen to music when they thought no one was watching. Alison, employed at Victoria's Secret in retail, had a knack for making everyone feel valued. The two affectionately called each other Babe, and their bond seemed unshakable. Kevin and Alison were regulars at the East Haven Tavern in downtown New Haven, where bartenders Jessica Eckwright and Jody Espy knew them intimately. The staff viewed their patrons as extended family, and the Davises were firmly part of that circle. They had a close-knit group of friends who gathered there nearly every weekend. On the surface, their existence looked ordinary and joyful. Yet, lurking beneath this facade of marital bliss, something sinister brewed. On the night of Friday, August 11, 2023, Kevin arrived at the East Haven Tavern around 9 p.m., settling into his customary spot at the bar. He was there to meet Alison after her shift at Victoria's Secret. When she entered, Kevin greeted her with a warm smile. Their friend Jason Young was also present, and the trio chatted and shared laughs. Kevin ordered a beer, followed by another, and then some vodka shots. Alison sipped her favorite sweet cocktail. The bartenders observed them all evening and detected nothing amiss. Jessica remarked that it was a perfectly routine night, with absolutely nothing out of place. Around 1 a.m. on August 12th, Alison departed the tavern first, with Kevin trailing shortly behind. Friends recalled them winding down, ready to head home. Driving separately to their Douglas Lane residence, neither could foresee that Kevin's life would end within hours. At 1:11 a.m., Kevin began texting his friend Jason upon arriving home. Jason inquired, "You guys make it back?" Kevin replied, "Oh yeah, sorry." LOL. "Yeah, we are good, bro. I'm just listening to music." LOL. Their exchange continued for over an hour, with Kevin coming across as cheerful and playful. But at precisely 2:31 a.m., Kevin sent his last message to Jason. "I'm putting my phone on silent. Laugh my ass off. Gotta go to bed." The wife. These were the final words anyone would receive from Kevin Davis. Between 2:31 and 4:38 a.m., a horrific event unfolded inside the Douglas Lane home. At 4:38 a.m., Alison dialed 911. The call, lasting roughly a minute, had Alison stating, "My husband just fell down the stairs and there's blood everywhere and I can't flip him over. I don't know if he's alive or dead." Her tone was eerily composed. Detective James Kruger, who later reviewed the recording, described it as scripted. He noted that Alison never urged dispatchers to rush, suggesting the call was more about her than Kevin. Officers Garrett Shanebrook and Corporal Kate Hetrick responded swiftly, arriving at the scene minutes later. Upon pulling up, they spotted Alison standing by the curb. She guided them inside, where they found Kevin face down at the bottom of a steep staircase, surrounded by a shocking amount of blood. Blood coated the railing, splattered high on the wall, and pooled everywhere. Kevin was barely breathing, with blood streaming from his nose and mouth. His body temperature registered at a chilling 91 degrees Fahrenheit, far below the normal 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. On his body camera, Corporal Hetrick remarked, "This just doesn't look like a fall to me." The officers also observed no signs of a violent tumble, no broken balusters on the stairs, no wall dents, no shifted furniture. Kevin's body lay unnaturally flat and horizontal, not wedged against the doorway as one might expect from a fall. Hetrick inquired about firearms in the home, suspecting the blood volume might indicate a self-inflicted gunshot. Alison confirmed guns were present, but none were near Kevin's body. Paramedics transported Kevin to Parkview Regional Medical Center, but Alison's demeanor struck the first responders as profoundly strange. One noted on their body camera that she seemed to laugh while speaking with the paramedics. She displayed no concern for her husband's condition, shed no tears, and made no attempt to join him in the ambulance. Officers also noticed she was dressed in Kevin's clothing. When asked if she needed a change, she chuckled and replied, "Is there somewhere we could get clothes for you?" "'Cause you can't." "Yeah, that's the problem right now. Like I said, it is what it is at this point." "Okay." Detective Kruger arrived and began interviewing Alison. She recounted that upon returning from the bar around 1 a.m., they argued, after which Kevin headed upstairs to bed while she opted for the living room couch. She claimed she awoke to a loud thud and discovered Kevin at the stairbase, assuming he was intoxicated and had tumbled. Alison consented to a house search, signing the necessary forms, but cautioned about one upstairs room, saying, "She's up in the bedroom and she's a guard dog, and I don't know if she'd do anything, and I don't want anything right now. What I won't do is I won't go in that room." "Okay." She referred to Willow. Kruger assured her he wouldn't enter, and when he peeked into the bedroom, Willow bared her teeth and growled fiercely, blocking access. Kruger inspected the rest of the home and found nothing suspicious, accepting Alison's account as a tragic mishap. Kevin had drunkenly fallen down the stairs. The scene was cleared that very day. Alison's father, Steve Krause, arrived to clean up the blood, aiming to support his daughter through this unthinkable ordeal. At the hospital, Kevin's state deteriorated. His mother, Alta Beers, had received an early morning text from Alison stating, "There's been an accident." Alta asked for details, but hearing nothing urgent, returned to sleep, reasoning that if it were grave, they'd have indicated so. Around 6:30 a.m., Alta spoke with Alison by phone and was struck by her unnervingly calm demeanor. She remarked that Alison's voice suggested it wasn't serious, though it clearly was. Kevin's friends, Jason Young and Todd Spessert, hurried to the hospital. They conversed with Alison and her parents. Jason observed her crying but composed. Todd described her as distraught. In Kevin's room, Alison stood by his bedside, calling out, "Babe, you're going to be okay. Babe, I'm here with you. Babe, I love you." Steve Krause witnessed his daughter pleading for Kevin to awaken. Throughout the tense morning, the family prayed quietly, "I'm praying, Kevin. Just, wake up. Wake up. You look like you're sleeping. Just wake up." Kevin suffered a third cardiac arrest at the hospital. At 10:07 p.m. on August 12, 2023, doctors removed life support. Kevin Davis, aged 40, was gone. At 33, Alison became a widow. The news shattered those close to Kevin. Their friend Deontay Bristol fought back tears, noting they'd just spent time with him hours before. It had to be an accident. Everyone agreed. No one suspected foul play beyond a tragic stumble. 3 days later, the autopsy results arrived, altering everything. On August 15, 2023, Dr. Scott Wagner conducted Kevin's autopsy. His findings were harrowing. The right side of Kevin's skull was crushed inward with multiple fractures. The damage was confined to his head with no other bodily injuries. Dr. Wagner informed investigators that such wounds matched a fall from at least 20 feet or a high-speed vehicle collision, typically lethal. He concluded Kevin would have lost consciousness instantly and been brain dead on impact. These could not result from a residential staircase fall. The doctor posited Kevin had been struck by a blunt object.
On October 17, 2023, the Allen County Coroner's Office classified Kevin's death as a homicide caused by blunt force trauma to the head. Detective Kruger processed this in his office. If it was murder, someone had killed him, and only one other person was in the house that night. Kruger examined the texts between Kevin and Alison, finding Kevin's last message about the wife far from innocent. He saw annoyance. He uncovered troubling inconsistencies. Alison had given varying accounts. To police, she described drinking and arguing, then sleeping separately. To Alter, she claimed Kevin hadn't drunk, and they were together upstairs when he rose for water and fell. To Kevin's brother, she said she was in bed with Willow, heard noises but ignored them since the dog didn't react, and checked later. To medics, she stated she hadn't heard anything and hadn't seen Kevin for some time before finding him. The narratives clashed. Kruger saw deception. Doctors added that Kevin's core temperature was so low, hypothermic, with virtually no brain oxygen, akin to drowning victims. This implied he might have been brain dead for hours before the 911 call. 4 weeks post-death, Kruger spoke with Alter, who revealed marital strife, hinting at separation. Kruger concluded Alison had snapped, bludgeoning Kevin with an improvised weapon like a kettlebell, exercise weight, or bat, then dragging his 219-pound body to the stairs to fake an accident. The missing weapon posed a challenge, but Kruger theorized it was concealed in the upstairs bedroom with Willow, the unsearched room. He later lamented, "I 100% wish I would have gotten into this room on the morning of the 12th. The murder weapon could have been in there." On December 22, 2023, an arrest warrant was issued. 3 days before Christmas, Alison entered the Allen County Jail with her parents. Steve Krause watched as she announced, "I'm Alison Davis, and I'm here to turn myself in." Officers handcuffed her before her family. Charged with murder, she was denied bail, enduring 17 months incarcerated, limited to plexiglass visits with attorneys, no video or standard visitation, just waiting. From jail, she confided to loved ones about sleepless nights reliving the morning, missing Kevin, longing to hear him say babe again. The prosecution built a case, but the defense offered a stark contrast. On May 6, 2025, Alison faced trial for murder. Chief Deputy Prosecutor Tissa Helge called Dr. Bill Smuck, a renowned police surgeon who had testified in high-profile cases like Derek Chauvin's and Robert Feldman's. Dr. Smuck presented CT scans, testifying to multiple head blows. He declared, "Mr. Davis was beaten to death. He did not fall down those stairs," suggesting a blunt object like a kettlebell or bat. Prosecutors highlighted Alison's composed 911 voice, conflicting stories, and medic interactions, plus Kevin's unnatural stair positioning. Crime scene tech Timothy Garat argued hallway and living room blood couldn't stem from a stair fall, stating, "Blood cannot turn a corner." Dr. Smuck linked hypothermia to a 2-hour delay before the call, allowing time to craft a story and hide evidence. Defense attorneys Andrew Baldwin and Maxwell Y. countered with no weapon, no physical proof, no motive. They proposed Kevin, intoxicated, fell down steep stairs, hitting his head on the banister post. They enlisted Dr. Lubisa Dragovic, a forensic neuropathologist expert in brain trauma. Dr. Dragovic testified to a single impact shattering the skull into fractures, with the brain rebounding and bone shards acting as shrapnel. He attributed hypothermia to hypothalamus damage, disrupting temperature regulation, proving severe brain injury, not a delayed call. He explained absent banister blood by internal bleeding exiting via nose and mouth. Baldwin criticized the investigation. Scene released immediately, photos taken days later, blood cleaned by Alison's father with police approval, and the Willow-guarded bedroom unsearched. He questioned, "How can you trust forensic evidence from such a compromised investigation?" Friends affirmed a happy marriage. Jason Young dismissed the wife text as Kevin's humor. Maxwell Y. argued, "This is not a woman caving her husband's head in because things are a little bit tiptoe." The jury didn't see Alison's Garmin smartwatch data, deemed inadmissible by Judge Fran Gull, which the defense said supported her account. After closings, the jury deliberated for 6.5 hours. On May 9th, 2025, at 11 p.m., they returned, not guilty. Alison was acquitted. Steve Krause saw his daughter weep with relief, though she remained in jail for paperwork. At 2:12 a.m. on May 10th, she emerged to cheers, her first free meal, wings and pizza. An anonymous juror cited the weak prosecution. No weapon, no crime mechanics proof. Dr. Dragovich's explanation fit the injuries. Without reasonable doubt, conviction was impossible. Detective Kruger, now police chief, was crushed. I was like, unbelievable. I'm 100% convinced Alison murdered Kevin. His regret lingered over the bedroom. Kevin's mother, Alta Beers, displayed grace, testifying for the prosecution yet stating, "He's my son. I've always loved him and always will. She's still my daughter-in-law, no matter what." She found solace in Kevin's organ donations, saving 4 lives. Tavern friends like Jessica Eckreat were glad, feeling Alison didn't deserve 17 months lost. The case polarized the community. Todd Spessert, when asked if Alison killed him, replied, "I don't know." Alison moved back with her parents, Willow at her side, living quietly to recover from losing her husband and unjust incarceration. Kevin's death stands officially as a homicide, an unsolved case with no accountability.